Sometimes we find ourselves in a situation where the team is consistently rolling over work from sprint to sprint. I'd like to explore why this happens and what can be done to break this cycle. My name is Greg Spector, and I have over 10 years of software delivery experience. If you'd like to learn more about me or my background, you can find me on LinkedIn. Before we dive in, I'd like to explain what I mean by stakeholder goodwill. Goodwill is a term I borrowed from accounting. It represents the value of a business after you take away the value of all the tangible assets and liabilities. To put it more simply, it's the monetary value of the warm fuzzies you feel about a certain brand or company. I look at stakeholder goodwill as a reserve that the team builds up by providing good service and having a good relationship with their stakeholder clients. So how does stakeholder goodwill impact sprint rollover? Well, it's not the goodwill, but rather the negative goodwill that will impact rollover. This is also where the role of the Scrum Master plays a big part. If overly ambitious sprint plans go unchallenged regularly, teams will commit to more work than they can complete within a sprint. This leads to a series of broken promises to stakeholders, which creates more negative goodwill. And once a team is buried in goodwill debt to their stakeholders, they lose the ability to negotiate realistic timelines and push back on unrealistic demands, which then becomes a vicious cycle of overcommitment, more goodwill debt, and more overcommitment. If you owe somebody a large sum of money, you're not in a good position to refuse if they ask you for a favor, such as a ride to the airport or to help them move. Breaking this cycle is critical to getting the team back on track to committing to realistic deliverables and, most importantly, delivering on their commitments. The trick I've found helpful to getting the team out of goodwill debtor's prison is to declare commitment bankruptcy. Meet with your stakeholders and tell them that the team has overcommitted and will need to push back on some of their commitments. Ask each stakeholder to pick their top one or maybe two requests so you can give them a realistic timeline of when you expect to be able to complete those requests. Resist the urge to make any commitments on the spot. Take everything back to the team and let them review all of the requests from all of the stakeholders all together. It wouldn't help you to make new commitments without seeing your entire commitment backlog. This is your chance to get back on track without losing any more goodwill. You need to get this right. When you do get back to your stakeholders, be very conservative with your commitments. It would be much better to overestimate how long the work will take than to underestimate it. If you complete the work earlier than promised, no one will fault you for it. But if you're late, you'll not only be creating more negative goodwill, you'll be destroying your reputation and the team's reputation as well. Once all of the promises to your stakeholders have been fulfilled, you're back on solid ground. And don't let your team slip back into goodwill debt. Stay on top of your sprint plans. Do not overcommit, no matter what the team says. If you're the Scrum Master, challenge every sprint plan. You or the product owner should have historical records of sprint velocity. There should always be excess capacity reserved for unplanned work, and the team should never exceed their historical averages. I plan to talk more about sprint planning in future episodes. If the things I've said have resonated with you, and you want to share your experiences with sprint rollover, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear how you tackle this challenging problem. If you don't agree with something I've said, please put that in the comments as well. No one of us is as smart as all of us. Thank you for watching. I will have more videos that share the learnings I've collected over the years. Of course, as always, please hit like and subscribe.